Hello, Derek here. Coming to you with another video about the 1960 GMC school bus. Yep, it's a 60. The chassis is a 57 model year. This is the style of the 57, but it was assembled and put into service at some point in 1960, so that's why it's titled that way. It's a Wayne body, full-size bus. Anyways, doing some work on the brakes. She's been off the road for a number of years. It gets driven around the yard just enough to keep it alive. I'm just kind of making this video for my own reference to see what, if I ever need brake parts, I don't have to take it apart. The drums or the shoes are, I don't know if it'll focus, but they're 2.5 inches wide by, we're going to call that 14-inch drums. But much to my surprise, when I took it apart, I see we have a little bit of seal leakage. That's okay. Before she gets put into service, we're going to pull the wheel bearings all out. We're going to repack them with fresh grease, clean everything up really good, and put new seals in. But guys, look at these brakes. A little bit of crusty from sitting, but there's no, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, there's no lip whatsoever on these drums. Nothing. So this old gal had a brake job at some point fairly recently in terms of mileage, not necessarily in terms of date. But if you're used to disc brakes, you're going to think, oh, that's not much lining. But for drum brakes, these shoes have got to be 75 to 80% left. I'm very pleasantly surprised that they're in as good a shape as they are. The wheel cylinders, we got some crusties in there. Looks like she may have been leaking just a little bit. It's not really super wet, but I wouldn't consider it exactly as dry. So there'll be some upcoming videos about some brake work to this bus. But as far as the actual brakes themselves, you can send these tables or shoes, whatever you want to call them, out to be relined. So yeah, granted, you probably can't go to Napa and say, yeah, I'm working on a 1960 school bus, I need parts. Well, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, because for walking into Napa and asking for parts like that, you kind of are crazy. It's not going to happen. Some things like the wheel cylinder, you might be able to cross-reference it and find something close enough that will work. Yes, you can do that. But these were good American-made steel castings, so cast steel. So I'm betting that I can hone them out, and you can buy seal. You can still buy the seal kits for these for the GMC. I think it would be considered a 300 series. The sub model, it's actually a 19. I guess let's call it a 60 GMC 370. The chassis is a 57. So when ordering parts, what little parts are available online, the 1957 parts fit the chassis. And with the GM back in the day, the body styles were only 1 year, and GMC and Chevy were different. The Chevrolets would have had a closed-in, this would have been flat, nothing here, but the GMC, it's actually got a cutout with the letters in it. I've probably done more videos about this before, but it's rocking out a 1977 Oldsmobile 403, or for those all y'all across the pond, it's a 6.6 liter. No connection to the Isuzu Chevrolet 6.6 Duramax. Just by pure coincidence, they both happen to be used in GMs, and they both happen to have roughly the same displacement. Give you a quick walk around in the daylight of the old bus. It's pretty good shape given the year of it. Needs some minimal body work, mostly just clean up the paint. We've been working on the lights. Got most of the exterior lights working. Missing a cat's eye lens. So yeah, if anybody's got an extra cat's eye number 25 that they'd like to send me, if anybody's got a bus on their property, it's for parts or for storage, I would be very much appreciative if you guys could do that. This lens that goes here is broke. Got everything working except for the brake lights. Need a new switch. I can order that online with a new one. I'm debating on updating the brakes. This thing has got the old GM, they call it a hydrovac. It uses a vacuum to amplify the hydraulic pressure. Kind of sort of similar idea from what we use today, but this is the unit right here. Big vacuum diaphragm in here. The secondary master cylinder, which uses the signal from the master cylinder connected to the brake pedal to pressure this one up, and this in turn amps up the pressure and then sends the pressure to the brakes. It still works, but it's old and I'm not 100% sure I trust it to be durable and reliable, so I'm debating on taking a newer GM style like you'd see today, cutting a hole in the firewall, getting rid of this old oil filter canister we don't normally use or don't use anymore. This is the vacuum supply for the hydrovac, and I'm debating on just blasting a hole in the firewall and then mounting a traditional style conventional vacuum booster off of like a newer, you know, 03, 04, 05 Chevy 25 or 3500, because those have 1/4 inch brake lines all the way around to the whole system, as does this bus. So it would be very easy to plumb it in. Or if anybody also has a line on where to get a new windshield, we had a little mishap with the door. The wind caught it, pushed this poor light into my poor Solex Duplate 126 windshield. So I am also in need of a windshield. So if anybody knows where there's an old bus sitting that's got a good windshield that may be able to sell it or donate it, if you care to see the bus project. Not really looking for any handouts, but if anybody wants to send anything that could be useful for the project, this will be a video series. Haven't really showed you guys the inside of this bus yet. There's the dashboard. She's still a work in progress. We're working on redoing some wiring. But this is what the inside of it looks like, guys. All custom made cabinets, need a little refinishing, but really good solid structure here to build from. Built-in stove, oven, built-in refrigerator, sink, gas lights. There's one that goes here, I've got it put up. 110 volt lights and the stock 12 volt lights. She's a project, but she's getting put back on the road this spring. Got a window to go in that door right there, come out of an old Champion RV. So yeah, this is the 60 GMC. Yes, you were wondering, can we hear it run? Well, yes you can. That is if I hook the battery back up. I don't leave it hooked up. There's nothing really wrong with the wiring, but while it's in process of getting worked on, you never know what could happen. So, just to be safe, but I'm not using the diode. Amp light works. Gas gauge is not hooked up because it's got aftermarket tanks. Oil pressure gauge works. Temp does not yet. The gauge itself is functional, but I don't have the right sending unit. Shouldn't need to pump it because it's an Oldsmobile engine, not a Chevy. Eat my words. Good oil pressure. Yeah, this is the old, the master cylinder sits underneath the floor, for anybody that's not familiar. That's why the brake pedal goes down into the floor. Brakes still work okay, but I just want reliability and safety. So, yeah. Probably not the best video, but here's the engine running. A little more exhaust work to do. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it sounds pretty cool. Dual pipe. So yeah, I'll 10R22.5 tires, guys. So if anybody knows of any good usable tires, don't care about the tread as much as I don't want dry rotted casing. So, okay, see you in another video.